Welcome to the deep dive. If you're looking to get up to speed fast on the big UEFA Club finals coming up, Champions League, Europa League, and the Conference League, you're in the right place.
Absolutely. We've been digging into all the latest predictions, the analyses, everything really, right up to today, May 12th, 2025.
Yeah, we've looked at the betting odds, what the sports news guys are saying, some statistical breakdowns too.
Trying to get that well-rounded picture.
Exactly. And the mission today is pretty simple. Cut through all the talk and pull out the key insights. Who are the favorites? Why are they favorites?
Yeah, give you a clear idea of, what the current thinking is heading into these massive games.
Okay, let's jump straight in. The big one first. Champions League final. It's Paris Saint-Germain against Inter Milan.
Right, May 31st. That's at the Allianz Arena in Munich.
And the early talk, the odds, they're leaning towards PSG.
They are. Vegas Insider has PSG around -175. 175. Inter Milan, they're the underdogs at +125.
Okay, so Nagas 175, what's driving that? Their semifinal win over Arsenal, that 3-1 aggregate, that must play a big part.
Oh, for sure. That definitely got people talking. But it wasn't just the result itself.
Right, how they won it.
Exactly. Reports mentioned a really controlled performance. Players like Fabian Ruiz, Achraf Hakimi, apparently very influential. Sources like The Guardian, they were highlighting Luis Enrique's tactics, how he seemed set up specifically to nullify Arsenal's attack.
Which is interesting, thinking ahead to Inter, who can be quite solid defensively.
Precisely. And Squawka also pointed out, it's not just been one or two good games. PSG have shown, a consistent level throughout the tournament, not just flashes.
So consistent performance, tactical nous. That's the picture for PSG. Okay, let's switch over to the Europa League final then. An all-English clash.
Yeah, Manchester United taking on Tottenham Hotspur.
That one's coming up sooner, May 21st, over in Bilbao at the San Mamés Stadium.
And here, Manchester United are the favorites. The odds are maybe a bit closer than the Champions League final, though.
What are we looking at?
The Irish Sun has United at 46, Spurs at 11.10. So yeah, bookies think it's closer, but United are still tipped.
And United's run, unbeaten in the Europa League this season. That's impressive.
It really is. And capped off by that, demolition of Athletic Club in the semis, 7-1 on aggregate.
Wow, 7-1. What's been the key for them? Emeram's influence.
It seems like it. Reports in the Sun, TalkSport, they keep mentioning his focus on fitness levels, keeping the team sharp, and also, crucially, being clinical. Taking their chances, that ruthless edge.
Which you absolutely need in finals.
Definitely. And they showed bags of it in that semifinal.
Okay, but then you look at Spurs. Their story is quite different, isn't it? Finishing 16th in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Yet here they are in a European final.
It's a real contrast, a testament to, I guess, their resilience in this competition.
How did they get here? They beat Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, pretty convincingly, too. 5-1 on aggregate in their semi. And Ange Postecoglou, the manager, he's been talking a lot about squad unity. Outlets like the playoffs have picked up on that, how they've kept spirits high despite the league form. TalkSport, The Sun, too, they mention his focus on that resilient mindset.
Yeah, I think I saw something about a really emotional speech he gave recently in the dressing room.
That's right. TalkSport reported on that just a few days back. And those things, they can definitely galvanize a team, build belief.
Absolutely. Could make them dangerous, regardless of league position.
It could. But it's interesting, even with that spirit, The Sun also noted just recently that the bookies are still quite firmly behind United.
Oh.
So while Spurs have the spirit, the general view seems to be that United's overall quality and form in this competition gives them the edge.
Fascinating matchup then. Form versus maybe sheer belief and momentum.
Okay.
One more final to cover. The Europa Conference League. Chelsea against Real Betis.
Yep, that's May 29th in Bucharest at the National Arena.
And the favorite here seems pretty clear-cut.
Oh, yeah. Chelsea are strong favorites. UK Club Sport has them at 25. Real Betis are out at 94.
25. That's quite short. What's made Chelsea so dominant in the Conference League?
Well, their whole campaign has been impressive. Perfect group stage, 6 wins from 6.
Perfect, wow.
And Squawka pointed out they've got the competition's best attack, and they're tied for the best defense. So dominant at both ends.
Right, so even if the semifinal was maybe a bit tougher.
Yeah, even with that, they've basically been seen as the team to beat right from the start. They've lived up to that tag.
And Real Betis, what about their path? Sounds like they maybe had a tougher road.
They did, yeah. They came through a pretty competitive semi against Fiorentina. It wasn't straightforward.
Okay. Any stats suggesting they have a chance?
Well, interestingly, Opta ran their supercomputer simulations. It gives Betis about a 26.1% chance of winning.
Oh, okay. So not impossible then? A puncher's chance, maybe?
Exactly. The odds are long, but stats suggest it's not entirely out of the question. There's a possibility there for an upset.
Right. So let's just quickly recap the main takeaways for you. Champions League, PSG are the favorites against Inter.
Europa League, Manchester United tipped over Tottenham, but maybe a closer contest.
Yeah, potentially. And Europa Conference League. Chelsea are the heavy favorites against Real Betis.
And just remember, this is all based on the info we have right now, today, May 12th. Things can always change.
Absolutely. So as you think about these finals, maybe consider what factors you find most compelling. Is it the team's overall form, like United's?
Or is it maybe the manager's influence, like Enrique at PSG? Or perhaps that sheer underdog spirit and resilience we see with Tottenham?
Right. How much do those contrasting journeys, like Spurs having a tough league season but shining in Europe, actually matter on the final day?
Exactly. It makes you wonder which element, tactics, form, spirit, momentum will really make the difference when the whistle blows. Lots to think about.